Hello friends, welcome to Creator King. Today we have 3 inventions to do and I'm especially excited to show you the last one, which in spite of being quick, will give you many hours of fun. Well, at least I was quite entertained. Once we pierce the holes in the caps with a soldering iron, get a thin strip of foam and cut it in half lengthwise. Glue one of the thin strips of foam around the cap with a little bit of super glue. This will help cushion the blows thanks to the spongy property of this material. By means of osmosis, we will replicate the previous step with the other cap. In fact, I don't even know what osmosis is. To this toy engine, we'll attach both caps onto the pivots and apply plenty of glue to secure them in place. I know it's already as cold as the North Pole out here, but make the effort to eat a couple of ice pops because we'll need some sticks to build this invention. Don't worry if you get a bit of hypothermia, it'll be fine. Add glue to the small stick structure and attach these wooden rods. Remove the straw from your breakfast smoothie and check that it fits smoothly onto the rods before you start cutting. Get a small wooden board and glue it across the top. Place super glue between the wooden rods and the little board, then glue the motor to the straws. That Julio is editing real fast today. Make up your mind, fast or slow. We can't go around just adapting to what the guy wants. Bend the tip of the paper clip upwards and open it, making this strange shape that we will stick to the engine with our favorite sticky substance. Our elastic friends will be vital to this invention, so get one in the color of your choice and attach it from the clip to the small pivot protruding from the back of the motor. Take a pack of toothpicks from your favorite restaurant, shake one out, cut off both ends with a pair of cutting pliers and insert it into the small hole in the motor so that when you pull the rubber band it will be tight. Look what a beautiful bounce effect we've achieved. The following invention is electrifying. We will need to go get one of these rackets used to play tennis with the flies and mosquitoes. You'll also need your mini box of screwdrivers, so let's take out the screwdriver that I casually marked with tape to help me identify it better. Attach one of these small circular magnets to give it the power of our good friend Magneto, which is attracting metal junk. Remove the screws holding the handle of the racket and place it one by one, the way you see on the screen. Open it and inspect its interior. Almost there, almost there. One more little screw and we'll be ready. Was it really necessary to show how we removed every screw? Well, after this time-consuming step, we can finally separate the handle in two. It is a fairly simple electrical system. I imagined a complex circuit worthy of a master electrician. We will begin to disassemble the head of the racket by removing each plastic part and separating them from the metal ones, which will be quite useful. Cut the wires attached to the metal grids and stack them one on top of the other while we test the operation of the electrical circuit. We'll do this by adding 2 compact and tubular power sources, i.e. a pair of AA batteries. Place them in the handle compartment and push the button to see if at least a small spark comes out. Once it has passed the quality test, leave it to the side for a moment to prepare the pressure plate, with which our bug trap will be activated. Now, let's take the aluminum foil from the kitchen and with a box cutter, cut a piece and pull it apart. We won't be using this ruler to get the area of the rectangle like in elementary school. It will be more like a blade that will cut the aluminum in two. Didn't you used to play with them as swords? Once we've finished folding the aluminum, measure the width of one of the rectangles on a thin wooden rod to cut the exact size we'll need. Once we have 4 equal sticks, get your favorite tube of super glue and start applying it on 3 sides of our aluminum rectangles to attach the wooden rods that will support our pressure plate. To make sure that they stick perfectly, put a little more on the sticks already glued down before carefully placing the second sheet of aluminum foil on top. Once dry, make sure that the hole is a good size before we mark each side with a permanent marker. Draw a plus sign and on the other side a minus sign, representing the positive and negative poles. I even give you guys physics lessons. Here are the popsicle sticks that always appear in our videos. I never thought you guys would like them so much, but you even complain to me in the comments every time I don't use them for something. As with the wooden rods, measure the width of each pressure plate on one popsicle stick and then cut out the two pieces with the help of our powerful circular saw. Some people in the comments have said that it's too difficult to get the materials and tools to make these inventions. Really? 80% are popsicle sticks. Simple popsicle sticks. You all want it easy. It's not like I was asking for a velociraptor claw. After my usual complaining, mark the necessary measurements on the popsicle sticks using the metal grid. Then we'll use super glue to stick the wooden planks together. In the meantime, and since all I can think about is food according to my mother, I am curious to ask what the most typical food is in your region. Here, it would be hamburgers or chicken wings. Now I'm sure you'll know what country I'm talking about. Take the metal grid and fold it over like a taco, making sure to keep this shape while you apply hot glue on the edge. Glue it to the structure and take another popsicle stick and attaching it vertically the way you see on the screen. To this small piece of stick, we will apply some of our super glue so that we can stick 2 nails near the rounded end of it. Then connect the white and green wires of the electrical system. Apply glue to secure both the connections and the entire piece in place. It looks dangerous and creepy. Separate the wires from the old switch by pulling or cutting them off. Reattach the wires through the grid, making sure the ends are in contact with the pressure plate. Apply glue at the edge of the grid on both sides and cut some large pieces of masking tape. We will glue these onto the grid and then add the second metal piece. Cut the protruding tape and place more instant glue on it to proceed with what we were talking about a few moments ago. You know, I'm a little paranoid, so it occurred to me that this could be used to protect my home from crooks. Connect the amplifier cables to each of the grids and get a battery clip. Connect its red wire to the red wire from the voltage amplifier by twisting the strands together. Then, the green wire will be glued under the aluminum foil as shown in the video. It's time to connect the power source to our powerful vermin trap. Glue the components on top of the structure and close the circuit box. All set! The most efficient trap for mice, rats, or any invader that fits inside is ready. When the undesirable varmint enters the trap and steps on the pressure plate, a current of 9,000 volts will pass through its body and turn it into rat sausage. Oh yes! We've reached the last and most exciting invention of the day, at least for me. First, create a small central hole in a water cap with your soldering iron. Put this little cap aside for a moment and move to the next sharp task of removing the label from a juice carton with this dangerous box cutter. Make a cut along the length so that it can be removed without any difficulty. With a red marker, we will mark the shape of the powerful propellers that will lift our Apache helicopter in flight. You'll see how cool it is. Once we have the plans for the propellers in our possession, we'll proceed to cut first the base of the container and then upper part with the advanced karate technique that my good friend Jackie Chan taught me. Take a small pair of scissors to cut the rest of the propellers faithfully following the design line. Since I'm too lazy to cut the other propeller, I will multiply it with a little magic trick like Jesus did with the loaves of bread. I will also get a popsicle stick, which I'll use to assemble them. Apply superglue to the middle of the half of the stick and attach the propeller blades on each side. Bring the mini multi-purpose drill to the scene and drill the propeller right through the center. With the propeller pierced, add another popsicle stick just above the blades, making sure that there is a free slot in the middle. Take a medium-sized paper clip and unfold the first section. Even I was anxious about this transition. Take a couple of these plastic balls and insert them onto the clip we unfolded, followed by the propellers. With tweezers, bend the end that sticks out to one side and finish unfolding the rest of it. And the cap that we pierced at the beginning, and then a normal disposable cup. All you need now is the rotating system for the propellers, and you'll be able to fly your new toy. Find a pair of rubber bands, which we will put together and double to generate more tension. Place them inside the plastic cup, attaching them to the metal wire. Insert another popsicle stick through the hole. Not only will this create even more tension, but it allows us to wind it. Get rid of the protruding parts of the popsicle stick. And if you're one of those people who like crazier and more ostentatious designs, create a couple more blades that we will superglue to the sides of our helicopter. I doubt they will help you fly better, but they look great. Buy a bunch of wooden rods and take out a few, as they'll help us to improve the structure of our invention. Apply superglue to the entire length of each wooden stick and attach them to the inside of the cup. We are ready for the mission, General Kevin. We're on our way. Thanks for watching our inventions made out of household items today. Follow my channel if you'd like to learn more about making simple yet incredible inventions. Also, click on the link to see more videos about my amazing inventions. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial.